Hello, friends. Ready for another incredible story? Let's go. The game descended into reality. Monsters run rampant, magical disasters overflow, and everyone needs to choose a class and level up to become stronger. The story begins in the year 2624 at the Academy in the second city of Lawn, where the class awakening ceremony is taking place. Today, the ceremony is happening just as it has before. All the Academy students are lined up, and in front of them stands Lind, the director of the second Academy, watching over all the students. He explained to everyone about the ceremony. The first awakening is something that decides a person's future. Aside from various personal factors, do not opt to change class immediately upon awakening. Combat classes, like summoners and engineers, require large amounts of resources. It is difficult for ordinary people to acquire them. Summoners and engineers are some of the skills that demand many resources. The students were excited after hearing the director because they were all ready for the awakening. One wanted to become a berserker to be able to destroy the net, transforming into a monster, while another wanted to become a pharmacist. Everyone had their own desires regarding what they wanted from the awakening, and those who wanted a weaker awakening were called cowards by some. Many years ago, a virtual reality game called Eternal appeared in the world. Due to the completely new experience and the extreme euphoria of killing, which allowed people to lose themselves in the game, more and more people joined Eternal. One day, the surface of the world expanded thousands of times. A large number of secret realm maps descended, and countless monsters and other races emerged, merging eternally with the real world. Now, everyone could level up and change classes to increase their power and fight against the monsters. In this world, our protagonist was transmigrated a year ago. His name in this world is Yuri. Yuri is also among all these students, and he also wants to complete this ceremony and overcome his struggling life. As soon as he came to this world, and before he could understand anything, his mother passed away and his sister Juin was suddenly afflicted by a strange disease that cannot be treated by ordinary people. He barely managed to keep her alive with the help of a low-level priest. To save his sister, he sold his house and begged for money from his relatives to keep her alive. But this is just a temporary measure. If the cause of her illness is not found, Juin will always be on the verge of death. All these thoughts were running through Yuri's mind as his sister's medical expenses were increasing every day, and the part-time income he was earning was not enough to cover the medical costs. To overcome all these problems, Yuri needed the combat class so that through it, he could enter the maps, eliminate monsters, and take his sister Juin to a higher-level priest. The director detailed this awakening ceremony to all the students. Then, a level 24 mage arrived to start the ceremony. Before beginning, he informed everyone that the class awakening ceremony was about to begin and asked the students whose numbers were announced to position themselves in the magical formation one by one. Without delay, the mage started the magical formation with his wand. As soon as the formation began, a huge purple magic circle appeared, covering the entire formation, and the mage was continuously using his mana. When this magic circle was activated, there was a lot of pressure in the area, causing a strong wind to blow. The students struggled to stay on their feet. Seeing this, all the students thought, "Wow, a level 24 mage is so powerful?" Yuri also thought this while facing the wind. He's strong. The income for a mage organizing a class awakening ceremony is at least 6 figures. What a lucrative job, he thought. Then came Yang Yong, the 5th class teacher. As soon as he arrived, he called the first student, Zhen Shun, for the ceremony. The first student entered the magic circle as soon as he heard his name. All the students were watching the awakening ceremony with great attention because this ceremony is the most important thing in life. Yuri was also watching the ceremony very attentively because his whole life depended on this awakening. If he did not get a good awakening, he could not do anything for his sister or himself. There are over 1,000 classes in this world that can be awakened, but only 3 types of classes will appear in the awakening ceremony. In this monster-filled world, combat classes are the most respected by others. On the other hand, life-type classes hold the lowest positions. According to statistics from previous years, about half of the class should be able to awaken combat classes. Among the 3 classes, the Enchanter is considered to have the best potential. The students were entering the magic formation one by one. Some were failing, while others were having a good awakening. Those who were not receiving a good awakening were becoming very disappointed because everyone wanted a combat-type class. 3 types of magic cards were also visible in the magic circle: Pharmacist, Enchanter, and Decomposer. Perhaps a person's awakening can also change depending on the individual. Meanwhile, many students were called according to their numbers, and finally, the protagonist Yuri was called number 30. Hearing his name, Yuri began to move towards the formation. Seeing him, the students in his class applauded because he was the class representative. It is unfortunate that academic performance and statistics are not decisive factors for class awakening. The world is uncertain. Anyone can be an underdog. According to Yuri's classmates, his academic results are very good, and all his statistics are also very good. Therefore, he should be able to awaken a good class. On the other hand, Tang Channon, the 6th class homeroom teacher, went to Lien Yong and asked about the situation of his class. How many students in your class have awakened the combat class? Lien Yong said 16, and Tang Channon began to mock him, saying that 21 students in his class had awakened the combat class and that there was also a rare class, instantly filling the quota for the annual exam. Hearing this, Lien began to get a little irritated, as he had not seen any movement in the magic circle for a long time. Tang Channon said, "What happened to your class representative? Why isn't he moving?" All the students' eyes were on Yuri, who was standing in the magic circle with his eyes closed. Then, we saw that the necklace around his neck began to glow with golden light. Seeing this, Yuri was also confused. A bright golden light was emanating from the golden necklace. After a while, a system started to appear in front of Yuri with a notification. System energy detected. System activation in progress. Loading complete. The strongest class support system has activated the novice's initial gift, S+ grade Sacred Talent Protection. Seeing the system in front of him, Yuri couldn't believe it. He rubbed his eyes to see if it was a dream or not, but it wasn't a dream. The system notification was still appearing in front of him. He also checked the system and then remembered the necklace he had bought at a street stall in his previous life, which had transmigrated with him to this world after his death. When this necklace arrived with him after transmigration, he thought it was a treasure, but after some tests, he got nothing and gave up using it. However, now it activated a system that gave our protagonist a great gift. This gift came at a perfect time. Yuri looked at the system messages and saw that he had received the protection of an S+ grade Sacred Angel. Yuri's affinity with light types had greatly increased. All light and divine type skills would have an enhanced effect. In this world, talents are ranked from grade F to S. The higher the grade, the better the effect it produces. Most importantly, the 3 classes that will appear in the awakening ceremony have a significant relationship with the talents you possess. Outside the magic circle, Yuri's teacher was watching intently because Yuri hadn't moved for a long time. There was concern on his face. The students outside also began talking among themselves. What is Yuri doing? Why is he staring into the air? It's impossible. Such a case hasn't been recorded in centuries. Did he fail to awaken a class? Then, suddenly, the clouds parted. A golden light emerged from them and fell directly onto Yuri, who was in the magic circle. Seeing this, all the students were shocked because the atmosphere of the entire area had changed. Witnessing this incident, the director said that this was a class awakening phenomenon. The mage beside him said no, that this was a talent awakening phenomenon. An angel emerged from the golden light in the air, right in front of Yuri. Yuri stared at her, unable to say anything. The students below also fell silent because an angel had appeared from the awakening. No one there was in a position to say anything. The angel was emitting a golden light from within her. Her eyes were blindfolded, and it seemed like all the divine energy was being generated from there. The angel, after looking at Yuri for a while, began to move towards him. As she approached, she said with a smile, "Light is your belief and the source of your power. With the support of belief, the sacred light will always protect you and burn all evil. I will always protect you by your side." The angel entered Yuri's body, and as she approached him, a golden symbol of divinity appeared on Yuri's forehead, and a symbol of divinity also appeared in his eyes. When this happened, A bright golden light was generated around Yuri. The golden light emanated from his eyes and his entire body. It seemed like he was screaming in pain, although Yuri's pain didn't last long. Suddenly, the logos of 3 spiritual bodies opened in front of him. The students were watching everything from a distance, very surprised. Someone was holding their head after seeing this talent. "What insane luck to get a new talent in the class awakening ceremony," someone said. Another commented that the protection of this sacred angel is Yuri's new talent. Everyone was saying different things. "What class is this? I've never seen a class like this." Then, a student asked Master Lai, "What are the logos of these 3 classes?" When the students asked several times, Yanjun Janai Lai became serious and said that these 3 classes are hidden classes. In the magic circle, Yuri was looking at the logos of these 3 classes. The first is the Light Mage, the second is the Sacred Priest, and the third is the Holy Knight. Yuri will have to choose one among these 3. Light Magic is a pure support class. Although it has excellent power, they have no skills to protect themselves. With so many foreign races running rampant, they can be easily injured and killed. Priests have many life-saving skills and possess the incomparable resurrection ability, but their combat capability is very weak and they rely too much on others, not suitable for him. The Holy Knight is a comprehensive class with a full set of skills, capable of defense, attack, and buffs, although it does not excel in any particular field. Yuri, who has an affinity talent with light, chooses the Holy Knight as it suits him well. After the selection, the other 2 logos automatically disappear. The Holy Knight's logo begins to spin, and the symbol of a hammer appears, reciting the words of his oath: humility, honesty, bravery, empathy, responsibility, commit acts of glory, seek justice and the cause of your life. This is a Holy Knight. After saying the words of his oath, the Holy Knight remained very quiet. Yuri was looking at him calmly when, suddenly, a golden light emerged from his back and went behind the Holy Knight. At that moment, the Holy Knight's wings began to form. Meanwhile, the system notification arrived. "Congratulations on awakening the Holy Knight. Class level 10. Skills received: Blade of Pure White, Slow Regeneration, Weapon Blessing. 10 extra unassigned points received." As soon as Yuri exits the magic circle formation, the academy students surround him. Everyone starts saying things to Yuri. "Good job, class representative. Can you take me with you for the exam? I don't want to go unsupported. I'm a summoner. Our team can definitely score high. I'm a mage. Take me." Meanwhile, the teacher removes all of them, arrives there, and asks everyone to leave. At that moment, the teacher's eyes were shining as if he had achieved something. Then he said to Yuri with a greedy face, "Yuri, good job. You should go home and rest a bit. Tomorrow, report to the director's office." Seeing the teacher's ugly face, Yuri thought to himself, "Teacher, your face looks very scary." Yuri arrives home and checks his stats. His stats were as follows: Name, Yuri, Strength, 20, Constitution, 18, Agility, 17, Intelligence, 15, Class, Holy Knight. After the awakening, not only did Yuri's stats increase, but he also gained some unassigned stat points. Looking at his stats, Yuri thinks about increasing them because he has some points. Therefore, the first option was to increase his strength, the second was Constitution, and the rest in other stats. Thus, after enjoying the power, he can kill the monster very easily. Yuri quickly uses 6 points in strength, 2 points in Constitution, 1 point in agility, and 1 point in intelligence. As Yuri's stats increase, energy begins to flow out of his body like a golden light vapor. Feeling this, Yuri says, "I can feel the energy boiling in my body." This is the change brought by the stat points. The feeling is great. Due to using stat points for the first time, Yuri receives a system notification informing him that he has activated the Holy Knight mission. The Holy Knight mission activated the daily mission, Holy Knight Challenge Level 1. You can choose 2 of the following rewards upon completing the daily mission for the first time. Reward 1. Receive 10 extra stat points. Reward 2. Receive Holy Knight skills. Reward 3. Receive random Holy Knight equipment. There was also the option to accept or decline. They could choose one of these options. Seeing this mission, Yuri became very curious because with this mission he would obtain very high rewards and could not pass up such a good opportunity. So, he chose the Accept button. As soon as Yuri selected the Accept button, the mission automatically adjusted according to the energy level, and continuous system notifications appeared. Match completed. Kill the Gradian Sim Robbie and Monster. Take the test seriously. Dying in the test results in real-life death. Yuri was a bit surprised after going through this process and, after some time, arrived at a mine. Seeing it, he said, "This is it." It was taught in classes that Gradian Sim Robbie monsters primarily live in mines. Although they are not carnivores, they become violent and seek blood like other monsters when they encounter humans. It wasn't long after Yuri arrived at this mine that the ancient Robbie monster suddenly started approaching at high speed to attack him from behind. The ancient Robbie monster has little intelligence. Its attack method is a roar of rage, and its claws are sharp enough to cut through minerals. Yuri saw the monster coming from behind. It attacked Yuri with its claws, but Yuri easily dodged the attack. The Robbie monster's claw attack broke the ground there. Yuri jumped away from the Robbie monster's attack and moved away from it. Yuri thought that since he was facing the monster for the first time, he would kill this Robbie monster without using any skills. As soon as the monster attacked again, Yuri kicked its head, making it fall to the ground. Yuri advanced again. Seeing his own power, Yuri thought, "My body is much more agile, and my jumping power is also much stronger due to my increased stats." However, seeing its attacks being repeatedly wasted, the monster became very irritated. It approached Yuri and started attacking continuously, but Yuri dodged each attack and said, "You are so slow that I can see your attack from a long distance." Amidst all this, the monster attacked Yuri with its tail, which went straight for Yuri's stomach. Due to this attack, blood started flowing from Yuri's stomach. He quickly tried to heal himself. Slow regeneration, level 1, grade C. In 30 seconds, recovers a certain amount of life points for up to 2 teammates within a specific range. Yuri said while healing himself, "I was careless. No matter how much I trained in the academy, it's different from real monsters. Even if it's a low-grade monster, I can't underestimate it." To destroy this monster, Yuri used Blade of Pure White, which directly hit the monster. He was testing all his new skills in this fight. Whenever the monster was attacked with a new skill, a notification was also issued by the system. Blade of Pure White, level 1, grade C. Focus your strength in your arms and deliver a cross-shaped blow to attack enemies around you. Enemies hit will be frozen by light magic. Tiger Attack, level 4, grade 0. Grab an enemy in front of you, run forward a certain distance before throwing them, causing multiple stages of damage to enemies who collide with you. Yuri attacked the monster so many times that it didn't even have a chance to defend itself. With a punch, Yuri made the monster fall to the ground. At that moment, the monster was lying on the ground, and Yuri was thinking about eliminating it. A golden-colored armor formed on his 2 hands. This is Tiger Attack, with which Yuri started attacking the monster continuously, destroying it in no time. The notification appeared again after the monster died. You killed the Gradian Sim Robbie monster. Test completed. Score A. Choose your rewards. Reward 1. Receive 10 extra stat points. Reward 2. Receive Holy Knight skills. Reward 3. Receive random Holy Knight equipment. Yuri was thinking a lot about the reward because stat and skill points are the foundation of a class's strength. He is not in a hurry to increase his skill level, so stat points are the best option. A useful weapon will be of great help for the upcoming tests. Fortunately, the system rewards me with weapons. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to buy one with my current resources. Yuri chose stat points and random equipment. He chose a basic hand sword. As soon as the mission ended, the environment changed, and he returned to his room. After returning to normal, he looked at his cell phone, where it said he should go to the hospital. Meanwhile, Yuri's sister was watching TV in the hospital, where the news was on. Today, a student triggered the phenomenon of a sacred angel descending during class awakening. According to Intel, the student awakened a talent before awakening his class and went on to choose the Hidden Holy Knight class. This is the first hidden class to appear in our city in the last 50 years. Suddenly, the nurse arrived and turned off the TV. Yuri saw the nurse and greeted her, but she angrily showed him the bill with a stern face and said, "It's time to pay your medical fees. 10,000. Yuri took the bill from the nurse and looked at it, becoming a bit worried after seeing the amount. This bill is too expensive. It should be less. 10,000? Is there a mistake? Even after working 3 jobs, Yuri only earns 5,000 a month and can't afford this medical fee. Seeing Yuri argue, the nurse became furious and yelled at him. "You used many medications this month, including suppressants and stabilizers, and even called a priest here." Her illness had 3 outbreaks in the meantime, causing all the nurses to care for her at midnight. For a young lady to say such unpleasant words, go check yourself if you think there is a problem. This is a hospital. Hearing this, Yuri said, "I didn't mean that. You're misunderstanding me." But the nurse continued shouting, "Don't be afflicted by a rich person's disease if you don't have money. Poor people should simply accept their fate. Don't fight if you can't pay." Suddenly, some people arrived and put their hands on the nurse's shoulder, saying, "It seems I heard you insulting the patients with your sharp mouth. I wonder if you can keep talking in the director's office." Looking at them, the nurse thought these people didn't seem to be good. As she left, the nurse said, "Yuri, you must pay your medical fees today." Yuri was also confused after seeing all of them and asked, "Who are you?" He was also a bit worried that maybe these people had come to collect payment. After hearing Yuri, the man bowed very normally, took out a card and said to her, "You must be Yuri. I am a friend of your older brother." Yuri quickly arrived at the hospital where his sister was admitted. Entering the room, Yuri had the medical bill in hand and, upon seeing her, said to Xiaoyu, "Xiaoyu, I just paid the bills and the hospital system revealed that we have 10,000 yas in our account that we need to pay. I don't understand anything. Do you know what's going on?" Xiaoyu was happy after seeing her brother. At that moment, the 2 guys who had come to meet Xiaoyu in the previous episode were playing with her. The 2 also turned and looked at Yuri. Looking at them, Yuri asked, confused, "Who are you?" Seeing Yuri, one of them stood up, went to him, and introduced himself. "Hello, Mr. Yuri. My name is Zane Bing. I am the mayor's secretary, and I would like to discuss some things with you." Zane extended his hand to greet Yuri. Seeing that secretary, Yuri was surprised because the mayor is the most powerful man in the city of Jangle, and his secretary can sometimes even represent the mayor himself. Yuri thought to himself, "Why is someone like him looking for me?" Yuri shook his hand and said, while shaking hands, "The patient's room is not suitable for a conversation. Let's go somewhere else." The secretary heard this and said, "Okay." Our hero and the young man began to leave the room to continue the conversation. As they left, Zen said to the other guy, "Stay here to accompany Miss Chu. I'll go out with Mr. Chu for a moment." Hearing this, the other person agreed. Zen was cheerfully chatting with the other guy. She didn't know that her brother had reached the hidden class. The news she was watching earlier was about her brother. Yuri and the secretary left the hospital and went to a cafe. People were already talking about Yuri in the cafe. A girl sitting in the cafe told her group of friends that she had seen the news that a hidden class was revealed at the second academy. Hearing this, her friends asked who it was. Then, the girl showed a photo of Yuri on her phone to her friends. "I think his name is Yuri. Here's a leaked photo from their school. He looks very handsome." A bit further away, Yuri and the secretary were also ready to talk more. The secretary congratulated Yuri for receiving the S-grade talent protection from the Sacred Angel and the awakening of the Holy Knight class. Yuri was happy to hear this and said he was lucky. Then, the secretary continued their conversation laughing. Receiving an S-grade talent in a regular class awakening ceremony is not something that can be achieved by luck alone. After that, the secretary placed the key to the bank wallet in front of Yuri. This special key was given to Yuri because the mayor is interested in Yuri's hidden talent. He specifically instructed the media not to disturb Yuri. He also arranged a stock of cultivation resources for Yuri to prepare for the exam. The resources are inside the city bank's vault, and this is the only key to the vault. If Yuri uses the resources from the city bank's vault, he can become powerful very quickly. The secretary showed the keys and asked Yuri, "If you have any other requests, speak up." Seeing such an important key, some thoughts began to arise in Yuri's mind. "It seems the mayor believes I can become a powerful force, and there's no harm in investing in me." Although Yuri knew there is no such thing as a free lunch, the mayor must expect rewards someday. Seeing Yuri thinking so much, the secretary mentioned his last point, which was about his sister. He said that from today, there would be a professional medical team to attend to Miss Yuri 24 hours a day. In addition, the mayor contacted a second-degree priest of level 36 to come to Jangai City and heal Miss Yuri. This point from the secretary gave Yuri a great opportunity to accept his offer, and it was an offer Yuri couldn't refuse because he wanted offers like this where he received everything and his sister could also be cared for. Yuri quickly took the key in his hand and said, "I accept your offer." As soon as Yuri accepted the offer, the secretary said, "Welcome, it was my job." After obtaining the S-grade talent, more opportunities would arise for Yuri, but he accepted the first opportunity that appeared because, along with his own benefit, there was also his sister's benefit in that opportunity, which he couldn't refuse. After that, the story shifted to the hospital, where Yuri told his sister about it. Hearing this, his sister had a different expression of happiness. She asked her brother excitedly, "Brother, you're going to reach the top. Can I stay with you as an accessory?" Yuri became stubborn with her, pushing her away. "Stop talking nonsense. Focus on your recovery." But she held his hand and said, "Each class has its own unique skills." "What's your skill, brother?" There was a good point in her conversation. After hearing her, Yuri began to think about his skills. The 3 exclusive skills of the Holy Knight, after I awaken my class, are Blade of Pure White for attack, Slow Recovery for healing, and Weapon Blessing for support. Slow recovery can recover life points. I can try it with my sister. Yuri started using slow recovery on her, which made her feel very good, as if she were receiving a full body massage in a hot spring. After using slow recovery, Yuri asked, "Are you feeling well?" She was very happy to see the change in her body because she wasn't feeling pain anywhere. Her hands and legs were moving well. Besides the strength, one of the reasons Yuri chose the Holy Knight was his sister's illness because the Holy Knight is a support class. He can't completely heal her, but he can at least reduce her pain. The next day, Yuri was heading somewhere in his academy with his director. The director, who was walking with him, said, "Dozens of universities called me yesterday to recruit you." My phone almost exploded. There were even 4 professors from the top 10 universities. Do your best. Try to fight for as many resources as you can. All these professors hold secondary combat classes above level 35. If you are recruited by them, you will receive the best training in the future. Then, Yuri asked, "What universities are these, director?" The director said, "Université de Ranjan, Université de Chuan, Université de Zai, Université de Anche." Then, Yuri asked again, "Aren't any of the top 3 universities among them?" The director told Yuri that the top 3 universities always recruit based on exam results. They never evaluate talent in the classroom or make special admissions. While they were talking, the 2 arrived at the room where the professors from the 4 universities were staying. The 2 were standing outside the door, but inside the room, there was a fight among the people from the 4 universities about who would take Yuri to their university. The 2 standing outside the room heard the argument. The discussion went something like this. Old Zhao, the Qian district is 4,000 kilometers away from the city of Yonglei. Did you use a fighter jet to get here? A combat jet? I used the super long-distance teleportation matrix. Super long-distance teleportation consumes a level 30 magic core for each use. Were you willing to spend it? There is nothing I wouldn't spend for a genius. Chuan University will not accept Yuri. Let's let our skills do the talking. Luing opened the room door and said to everyone, "Dear recruitment professor, Yuri has arrived here." After that, Luing introduced all these professors to Yuri. "This is Mr. Wan Fu from Hongyong University, Mr. Luing from Xuan University, Ms. Yuri from Anin University, and Mr. Iwi from JJI University." After hearing the introduction of all of them, Yuri bowed his head in respect and said, "Nice to meet you all." All the recruiting professors there were pleased to see Yuri's good behavior, who, even after obtaining the hidden class, was not arrogant. "This boy is good," they thought. However, Jan Fu from Ranjan University said, "Let's put all other things aside. I will explain about Ranjan University's offer." Jan offered Yuri, "Upon entering our university, You will receive 2 million yans and an exclusive skill book of 3 Holy Night classes. This offer from Jan was so good that it forced Yuri to think. He reflected, the monthly income of a normal family is 6,000 yans, and Ranjan University is offering 2 million all at once and exclusive Holy Night skill books, something ordinary people can't even touch. Not even the mayor gave me resources of this level. However, Li Bing from Shernan University began to mock Jan for his offer and made an even better proposal to Yuri. Mr. Yuri, Shernan University is offering 3 million yans upon admission, 3 Holy Night skill books per year, with classes taught by a tertiary Awaken Knight of level 56. This offer from Li Bing was better than Jan's, which forced Yuri and his director to think, as level 56 is near the top of the planet. Becoming a disciple of this knight would bring incomparable benefits. Both were deep in thought when Yuri also placed his offer on the table. Anen University does not have many admission funds, only 2 million, but if you are admitted to our school, I will give you a Class B cultivation resource immediately. As soon as the name Class B cultivation resource appeared, Yuri's director quickly looked at him and asked him to say yes, as Class B cultivation resources cannot be measured with money. With all these treasures, even pigs can be trained to become the strongest monsters. All the recruiting professors wanted to hear Yuri's decision after making their offers, but Yuri declined the special admission from all of them. His director, who was beside him, went completely mad after hearing what he said. He was so angry that he asked, with rage, "Why?" Yuri replied, "I would like to be admitted to the top 3 universities. Among the top 10 universities, the top 3 are Sukong University, Jingjing University, and Modu University. They are commonly praised as the top 3 universities in the country. They recruit only 1,000 students per year, and recruitment is not limited to humans. Elves, giants, and other races can also enter. Other races are naturally stronger than humans. Besides the numerous elites in our country, getting into the top 3 universities is as difficult as climbing the heavens." Hearing this from Yuri, Jan began to laugh loudly and then said angrily, "I thought you were a good boy, but you are just an ignorant brat. I read your profile. You missed a lot in your first 18 years and don't have the resources to make up for it. You are weak and have low stats. Not only is it difficult for you to get into the top 3 universities with your current strength, but even if you manage to get in, you will be in last place without focus training. That's all you will be for the rest of your life." While saying this, Jan was exerting the pressure of his internal ki on Yuri. The pressure of his power was so great that Yuri was having a hard time staying on his feet. If he had received this pressure yesterday, he wouldn't have been able to stand. But he achieved something with yesterday's training and was able to withstand the pressure. Lien quickly stepped in front of Yuri and also released his pressure, saying angrily to Jan, "What is the meaning of this, Mr. Jan? Do you want to intimidate my student on my turf?" Yuri, standing at a distance, was watching all this. She saw that Yuri was standing in front of Jan's aura for so long and understood that there was something special about this boy. After that, Jan released his aura and started to leave. All the professors there also began to leave, saying their words. The recruitment of students seeks not only potential but also attitude. With this attitude, he won't become anything, even if he gets recruited. I'll leave first. See you next time, Director Liu. I won't prolong my stay since Yuri has such high ambitions. Seeing all of them leaving, the director interrupted them and asked to give the child another chance. Jan, upon leaving, also stood in front of Yuri and said, "You are prepared, but Mr. Jan's words still hold true. There are countless elites in our country, and other races are naturally stronger than humans. Getting into the top 3 universities is as difficult as climbing the heavens." Yuri replied with a laugh, "I will prove my power with the exam results. There is still a month left for the exam. Surely, he will be able to raise his strength to a frightening level with the help of his system. In my opinion, he will definitely get into one of the 3 universities. Friends, what do you think? Will he be accepted into any of these 3 universities? Write your opinion in the comments." Jan was thinking after hearing Yuri. "It has been a long time since I saw such strong and determined eyes. It's like I've returned to the frontline fighting days. I have spent a long time in a peaceful place, and even my mentality now seeks stability. There is a gap with the young who hold their heads high. She left and said her last words to Yuri. Very well, I am looking forward to your results. We will meet again, Mr. Yuri. After that, the story jumps directly to a month later when the exam was about to begin. This time, the examiner, according to the students, was the demon Yang. Due to the presence of this examiner, all the students were afraid they wouldn't pass. The students were worried about the examiner because he was the one who created those dangerous questions 2 years ago, and the district's average score that year hit a new low record. Some students also talked about Yuri, and everyone began discussing him. Have you heard? Yuri rejected the special admission. He wants to get into the top 3 universities. No way, that's arrogant. Not even the greatest genius of a district dares to say they will get into the top 3 universities. How could he? He's going to lose everything because he thinks he's the best with a hidden class. An admission fund of millions? I would have said yes. What a shame. Suddenly, some students looked at Yuri, and everyone said to each other, Look, Yuri has arrived here. When Yuri, who had come to take the exam, passed among them, an aura and a bright golden color emanated from his body. Seeing him, some students said, It looks like Yuri is different from before. He seems powerful. Yuri goes directly to the front of the portal gate. He was very serious because he needed to pass the exam and be admitted to one of the top 3 universities. All the students were standing in front of the secret realm portal. Meanwhile, the map of the secret realm opened and contained all the information about it. The students must take their exams in the secret realm depths of the dark forest. The levels range from 10 to 13, and the difficulty is easy, hard, and nightmare. In this secret realm, 1 of 5 people are needed. The students were also warned before entering this secret realm as there are feline monsters and minotaurs inside the forest. They are cruel creatures that like to eat human flesh. Seeing the details of the secret domain, all the students panicked. They were quite worried after seeing the difficulty of the secret realm and began talking to each other. In the depths of the dark forest, there will also be swampy terrain. The feline monsters are extremely agile while the minotaurs have thick skin. Demon Yang doesn't want us to survive. The maximum number of group members allowed represents the map's difficulty. Usually, it was 3 people in previous exams, but this time it's 5. At that moment, the teacher arrived and shouted to all the students, Remember to work according to your abilities. If you feel any danger in the secret realm, use the return scroll immediately. If these students are killed in the secret realm map, they will also die in real life. Therefore, the teacher explains to them that they need to save their own lives, even if it means failing the exam. After all this, the 30-second countdown ended, and the students were ready to leave. The teacher said, Be ready. After that, all the students began to be teleported one by one to the secret realm map. As they left, some students had smiles on their faces while others felt fear, but all had to show their ability. Upon finishing the exam, in a few minutes, all the students had entered the map. Only a few teachers and students who had come to watch the exam stayed outside. All these people were looking at the people inside the map on the screen. Among them, we could see some people whose full names and statistics were being shown on the screen. The first student we see is Kong from Class 1, and his role is a warrior. He chose only the hard difficulty. The second student is also from Class 1. His name is Emo King, and his role is an assassin. He chose only the hard difficulty. On the third screen, we see 3 students from Class 1 who formed a team and chose the hard difficulty. Their names are Long Fei, Sujin, and Kango, and their roles are Mage, Elemental, and Gunslinger. Finally, the one we were waiting for is our hero, whose role we know is Holy Knight, but he chose the Nightmare difficulty alone. On the last screen, some warriors from Class 2 are seen. Their names are Zanai, Ung, Lays, Anhong, and Yurlin. It was a team of 4 people, and they chose the hard difficulty. Their roles are Archer, Fire Mage, Dechin, and Potion Master. The students sitting outside were observing all these details. Then we see that a student said to the boy next to him, As someone accepted into the elite class, except for 2 people, everyone is taking the exam solo. Solo means you can gain all the experience and get a higher score on the exam, but the risk of death also increases. Only those with an elite class dare to do this. Suddenly, a girl shouted, Look, there is Yuri. They all saw Yuri's details on the screen, but at that moment, some red eyes were shining along with Yuri's details on the screen. Yuri chose the nightmare difficulty, so everyone was very surprised that he chose the nightmare level alone. Amidst all this crowd, we see Director Liu and Director of Education Zainin. The Director of Education was watching the screen to see the student's performance, but what surprised him the most was the protagonist. Seeing the protagonist alone in a nightmare difficulty, he looked directly at the director and said, in a panic, "This is Yuri, right? The Saint Knight has extraordinary support capabilities. He would be useful in any group. Why did Yuri choose to go alone and still choose the nightmare difficulty with a 40% mortality rate?" The director was wondering if he had made a mistake or if Yuri had made a mistake. The Director of Education was very nervous because the Municipal Council gave Yuri many resources this month to give him a chance to get a good result. If he dies on the map, the public opinion of the entire Lon City government will be severely affected. The measure taken by Yuri means he is ignoring the government's support. Thinking about this, the Director of Education was getting very irritated, but the director sitting next to him tried to calm him down, saying, "Don't worry, Director Zainin. Yuri is not a rash person. He must have his own trump card." Inside the map, many bloodthirsty red eyes were simultaneously after the protagonist. Yuri was aware of all of them. To eliminate them, Yuri released his weapon. There was no fear in Yuri's eyes. After seeing so many nightmare difficulty monsters, it seemed that he had achieved a lot in a month. At that exact moment, a feline monster reached maximum speed to attack Yuri. Seeing it, the protagonist was ready. You arrived just in time. And as soon as the monster approached him, he killed it right there with a single strike of his weapon. Our hero's weapon is not a sword but a single-bladed axe that was bronze, 2-star. A two-handed polearm that increases strength by 7% and, once equipped, reduces agility by 2%. When our hero was killing this monster, a divine golden aura was emanating from the sides of his body, and his passion for action was visible in his eyes. After killing this monster, Yuri stood with very angry eyes. There was blood on his face, but he wants to go to the best university, so he will have to do more than this. Meanwhile, we see some of Yuri's stats. His strength was 45, his constitution was 51, his agility was 43, and his intelligence was 52. Seeing them, Yuri thinks, in a month, I reached level 10, but my average stat points have reached an incredible 47, equal to level 13. Even across the Sukong district, I can rank at the top of the examinees. It had been a long time since that monster was killed, but many monsters were following Yuri, not backing off in fear after the death of one of their companions. Therefore, Yuri decides that he will kill them himself and runs towards all of them at his maximum speed. Yuri also quickly applies the level 4 weapon blessing to his weapon, which was grade C. Condensed sacred light increases the attack power and accuracy of teammates' weapons within a certain range. After this, Yuri starts cutting down all the monsters one by one like carrots and radishes, as if he were playing with them. Under the effect of the S+ grade talent, Protection of Sacred Angel, the weapon blessing of the exclusive Saint Knight skill was also enhanced. The strength of a single-bladed axe was increased by 21 points. The other students must be envious of Yuri having such a powerful boost since the university exam limits their weapons to less than 3-star bronze. But the axe in Yuri's hand has the same effect as a 5-star bronze after the enhancement. Each stat is enough to cover the distance between Yuri and all the other exam participants. Yuri was killing them all one by one. Seeing their companions dying continuously, some monsters attacked Yuri simultaneously, but Yuri immediately released the Pure White Blood skill and destroyed them all in a matter of seconds. The Pure White Blood skill Yuri activated is level 5 and grade C. In a way, we can see an electric current running through his hands, and he was cutting down all those monsters with both hands. Due to this, his HP was continuously increasing. Continuous notifications were displayed on the system screen within the map. Yuri was continuously defeating them. While the students sitting outside were completely surprised to see Yuri's performance, they all, one by one, said, "Wow, that was close." Senior Yuri's timing to release his skill is so sharp that he used the Pure White Blade almost at the exact moment he was attacked. Yuri, who had become a demon in front of those monsters inside the map, was defeating them not only with weapons but also in hand-to-hand combat. While defeating them all, he thought, the blade of pure white was raised to level 5 by me. It masks the powerful damage of the light element under the protection of the sacred angel buff. He can instantly kill any low-level monster. Yuri destroyed all the monsters that appeared in this round. Among them, the one that remained Yuri killed by directly attacking with a lightning strike to its stomach. The spectators sitting outside began to cheer after seeing the protagonist's performance. They all shouted their words one by one. Incredible! Senior Yuri is dominating. I've seen single-bladed axes in malls before. They are really heavy, but Senior Yuri seems to be playing with it. Did he add all his free points to strength? Then, a teacher said, no, look carefully. Yuri's speed is greater than that of these feline monsters. It's not just speed. He also releases his magic quickly, and it's powerful too. His intelligence stat is definitely not low. The angle to swing the axe, the control of attack speed, and the force behind the strikes are all well managed. It's as if he is a combat genius. And friends, at this moment, the intelligence stat shown in the system window is used to increase magical power. All the students started looking at the screen very attentively after hearing the teacher. The teachers from all the classes were also watching the students' performance. We also see the teacher of Class C, who was watching Yuri's performance. Looking at his face, he seems a bit worried, but a teacher sitting next to him got very irritated upon seeing it. The teacher from a different class was wondering how such a good student was in Class 5. The director of education also spoke seriously after seeing Yuri's performance. Yuri's combat mindset is strong, but his methods are not wise. He wasted his stamina on the first wave of feline monsters. The director of education's conversation was continuous. Here, inside the map, Yuri was ready for the second round because another wave of monsters had arrived in front of him, surrounding him on all sides. The director of education's conversation outside was still ongoing, where he was telling everyone something about the nightmare difficulty. Nightmare difficulty not only has powerful monsters, but also in large quantities. Even excellent mages can fail due to the consumption of magical energy. The weight of the axe is a big burden for the class itself. Swinging it once or twice may not seem like much, but swinging it consecutively hundreds of times will leave him with no strength even to hold the axe, and in the end, he will be shredded by the feline monsters. Many monsters came to attack Yuri. Their number was very large. The students sitting outside were very worried about Yuri as they saw more waves of feline monsters coming and not even giving Yuri a chance to rest. From the words of all the students sitting outside, it seemed they were very scared. They feared whether Senior Yuri could eliminate them this time or not. Although we already know what is going to happen, yes, friends, what you are thinking is happening. Our hero was continuously destroying all of them with his axe and lightning, just as we cut vegetables at home. Yuri was cutting these monsters this way. Sometimes with his axe, sometimes with his lightning, he was attacking all of them and killing them one by one. Yuri had become a kind of god of death for all those feline monsters. At that moment, the protagonist was standing on the dead bodies of those feline monsters. Now there wasn't even a single feline monster left. He had killed all of them. However, when the portal for the next round opened, the protagonist was a bit surprised to see the portal suddenly, but he understood that it was an entrance to the next round. So, without delay, he entered the portal, and as soon as he passed to the other side, there were many feline monsters standing and sitting in front of him, as if all these monsters were waiting for the protagonist. They were already in combat position. If you like this video, please subscribe, leave a like and comment for the next part.